everybody is actually looking forward to owning a house.
I was very, very happy when I got the allocation for the house.
Mortgage can actually work in Nigeria.
Hello there. Welcome and thanks for joining us on another edition of the program Everyone Deserves a Home, a program that highlights the efforts of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria in bridging the housing gap in Nigeria through affordable housing. My name is Aisha Mohammed Ahmed, your regular host. Our episode tonight will focus on one of the deliverables of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria that is being delivered to NHF contributors through the Cooperative Housing Development Scheme. Other regular segments of news, dream come true, and feedback will complete the package tonight. All this will come up after the short break. Stay with us.
The latest couple in town.
Good day, sir.
How are you? Oh, sit down, sit down, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Drinks?
No, we're fine, sir.
How was the moon experience?
It was quite an experience.
How about house?
We are renting at the moment, but we intend to save enough to own our own house, right?
Why not avoid all those Shylock landlords and own a house upfront? With the average income and cost of building houses today in Nigeria, mortgage is the best option. No sweat. I tell you what, that was how I got my first house, and I've never regretted it.
To make good homes, and by implication, a good society, an individual is expected to have an abode from which to take off and return at the end of each day. At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home. Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
Welcome back. We'll begin the program with news highlights of major events around the Federal Mortgage Bank. In the diary tonight, FMBN presents 2025 budget to the National Assembly. Stay tuned for the details coming up shortly. The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has presented its 2025 fiscal year budget to the Senate Committee on Land, Housing and Urban Development. During the session, which was organized to review the 2025 budget of the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development and its agencies, the Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, who was accompanied by the executive directors and other management staff of the bank, briefed the committee on the mandate of the bank, presented an operational summary of the bank, and also presented the 2025 budget proposal.
Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria being led.
Opening the session, Chairman of the committee, Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, commended the leadership efforts of the Managing Director of the bank, Shehu Usman Osidi, and his team in providing access to affordable housing despite challenges. He pledged the support of the committee in providing the necessary banking for the FMBN to progress in the discharge of its duties.
I was having it at the back of my mind that we are going to organize a special sitting between your humble selves, the CBN, the NSITF. If the NSITF is not willing to take its shares as prescribed by the law, we amend the law and go public and allow the public to now take the shares of the NSITF so that you can now get the funding that you require to execute and carry out your mandate. They must not stagnate this bank. If they are not willing, we cannot force them. Well, the intendment was to force them into it. If they are not willing, this is a dynamic society. They cannot continue to tie us down. So we ask them to exit, and then we take their shares and find a way, a novel way. You have a good team that can think through it, and then we come up with a model that will give you the oxygen that you require. So rest assured that you have our support and backing.
The Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria in his presentation highlighted the pressing need for the FMBN to be recapitalized, which will enable the bank improve on its operations.
I refer to the issue of our low capitalization, sir. Since the bank was established, the capital base of the bank is just 5 billion naira, out of which only 2.56 billion has been paid. Federal government 2.5 billion and Central Bank 60 million. And even we finance over 30 primary mortgage institutions. even the primary mortgage banks are more recapitalized than we are. And this, to a large extent, affects our operations because we do generate profit in the course of our normal operations, but we are unable to usually make remittances to government because our efforts are normally eroded by the low capitalization. So we have a negative capital. And so we have made a proposal for the recapitalization of the bank to the tune of 500 billion. In fact, so we went as far as through the leadership of the Honorable Minister to make a presentation to the Federal Executive Council. But we have been asked to go and engage stakeholders and also deal with one aspect, which is the amendment of our act, because so that we can amend the portion of the act that provides for the capital of the bank.
He also gave a summary of the performance of the 2024 budgets.
Summary: business loans budgeted for 2024 was 223.4 billion. The actual was 39 billion. This was because we had several loan approvals, but beneficiaries were unable to meet conditions precedent to draw down in the course of 2024. So a lot of these loans will be drawn down in the early part of this year. We have also NHF collections budgeted 162 billion. Actual was 100.7 billion, which is a 62% achievement. It's also there on page 2 of the budget. Capital asset acquisition 4.8, actual 1.4. The reference is also page 11 of the budget. Equity, we had proposed to achieve 100% equity injection by the federal government by virtue of the presentation we made for the recapitalization of the bank to the tune of 500 billion. But this did not come in 2024. We hope to be able to achieve this in 2025.
Tambuwal pledged the committee's commitment to the recapitalization of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, as well as the review of obsolete laws affecting the bank's operations. In a similar engagement, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, alongside its supervising ministry and other agencies under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, has also presented its 2025 budget proposal to the House Committee on Housing and Habitat of the House of Representatives.
I would like to seize the opportunity just to thank the committee for
presenting the budget before the committee. The Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Shehu Usman Osidi, said that the bank is projecting a total income of 109.1 billion naira in the year 2025.
The total income projection for this year is 109.1 billion against 73.2 billion that was budgeted in 2024. Our recurrent expenditure, we are proposing 44.5 billion against 29.8 billion for 2024. And capital expenditure this year, we are proposing 8.2 billion against 4.8 billion for 2024. So our net operating surplus that we propose for 2025 is 39.19 billion against a budget of 22.68 billion for last year. So I would like to end, sir, by thanking, like I said earlier, this committee for the cooperation and support that we have received so far.
700 mortgages.
Also speaking, the coordinator of the Real Estate Investment Fund, Sani Yakubu, said that part of the first tranche of the fund, which totals 150 billion naira, has been disbursed, while the remaining part of 100 billion naira, which is expected to come from the private sector, is still being raised. He then explained that the first tranche of the fund will be used to create 4,700 mortgages.
And how will these mortgages be provided? The fund has already acquired and will soon open to Nigerians a digital platform. So a Nigerian working in Sokoto, working in Rivers, working in Lagos, working in Maiduguri can go on this platform and say, my name is this is where I work, this is how much I earn. On your platform, I have seen developments by Family Homes Funds, by FHA, by Brains and Hammers. I want to buy house number 1 on road F1. This is how much I'm earning. The platform will do the calculations and say, based on your salary, you're good for this house, or based on your salary, you're not good enough for this house, can you try another one? We get all this information on the platform, send it to the mortgage institution licensed by CBN to provide mortgages and ensure that the mortgages are provided to these parties on those terms and conditions.
The meeting ended with a resolve to raise more funds that will be channeled into the housing sector for the delivery of houses. The program is still Everyone Deserves a Home, coming your way courtesy of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. One of the products the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria offers its customers is the Cooperative Housing Development Loan, which provides houses to members of a cooperative society which desires to develop houses for its members. One of such cooperative society is the CMC Cooperative, which is developing housing units for its members in the FCT. In our next segment, we'll focus on this project and bring you details. Stay with us.
The Cooperative Housing Development Loan is one of the loans the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria provides its customers. This loan is targeted at cooperative societies of either the formal or informal sectors, and the aim is to provide affordable houses for contributors of the National Housing Fund scheme. Many cooperative societies have benefited from this product, giving their members and many Nigerians the opportunity to become homeowners through the Cooperative Housing Development Loan. CMC Cooperative Society is one of the cooperative societies partnering with the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria in the delivery of houses for its members. The project, which is located in the Federal Capital Territory, is a 36-unit housing project, and it is being developed by RDS Technologies.
It's a residential block of flats, 3-bedroom block of flats, 36 number units in total, 6 blocks, so each block has 6 units, so in total there are 36 units of 3-bedroom flats.
The developer of this estate tells us some of the processes of acquiring a cooperative housing development loan.
The window is called Cooperative Housing Development Loan, whereby a cooperative society with their members, they will decide to access the loan from the bank. One of the conditions is to get a qualified developer as part of the team, whereby once they secure the loan, the developer are the one who will be building the houses. And then the houses will be packaged and sold to off-takers through mortgage, whereby the process comes through the Federal Mortgage Bank. The cooperative will appoint the developer and they'll apply to the bank. They'll write an application, and then there are certain process they will have to go through. Their documents that they have to submit, the CSE documents, approved bill of quantities, approved drawings, surveys, all the requirements by the bank. They will submit it together and submit to the bank, and then the bank will process everything. They will do their site inspections, and once everything is in place, then the bank will approve the loan.
The total amount approved for this project is about 460 million naira, which covers the housing units and infrastructure to be made available at the end of the project.
The loan usually at the time when it was approved is based on 4 tranches. So you have first, second, third and fourth tranches. So each tranche you are required to finish a certain number of houses. They will come and inspect and do evaluation, and if successful, then they will release the second, disbursement, third and fourth. We just got final tranches. We're just finishing touches, trying to finish the infrastructure so that the off-takers can move in.
As expected of all FMBN funded projects, basic infrastructure will be made available, which include access roads, electricity and water. Despite economic challenges, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, the FMBN, and the developer are making efforts to ensure that quality is not in any way compromised.
The challenge we have is the cost of material constantly keeps changing. which is very, very hard. So the best one can do is literally, as soon as you get disbursed, you buy all the materials upfront and store them. And then the only thing you're left is the paying the labor for the workers. But otherwise, it's really, really hard, because the last time cost of cement change was overnight from 4,000 to about 8,000-9,000, and it's a really struggle. So I don't know if the bank will come out with a solution, but as it is, it's really hard, because no one controls the fluctuation of selling prices, while the selling price of the houses remain constant. So it's a constant battle challenge, and for you to not affect the quality of the work, it's really hard. So we tried as much as we can to maintain the quality, because we bought most of the materials and store them as soon as we get disbursement from the bank.
The developer of this project commends the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria for creating a smooth working relationship with its partners, saying that he has not had any major challenges with the project, and for the few he has experienced, they have been amicably resolved. The project, which is in its final stage, will be completed and ready for off-take as soon as the final tranche is disbursed.
A lot of people are still of the opinion that becoming a homeowner through the mortgage system is not real. That is why we find it necessary to visit the homes of beneficiaries of the National Housing Fund scheme and have them share their stories, so that someone out there will feel encouraged to give the scheme a trial. Tonight, Mr. Olatunji Folami shares his story with us. Why don't you sit back, relax, and watch him share his story.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply, once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is real.
It's a big testimony to stop paying rent.
Excellent. Seriously excellent.
It works and is real.
Mr. Olatunji Folami is a happy and proud homeowner of a 3-bedroom detached bungalow at the Abiskoli Housing Estate, Kuje, in the Federal Capital Territory. His journey to home ownership started at his place of work, where he got to find out about the NHF scheme.
And I got to know about NHF through my place of work, National Open University of Nigeria. So then after, I got to know about the estate as well through National Open University. And after then, they introduced us to the estate. Then after then, we have a PMI, which is Living Trust's Primary Mortgage Bank. I think through that way, I was able to get this house.
He tells us some of the processes he went through to become a home owner.
Before I say anything, I would just say that the process was stress-free. And the first thing, when I got to the National Open University, we have to fill a form. Then after filling a form, then our form was submitted, and through Living Trust Primary Mortgage Bank, as said. Then after then, we submitted. After submission, everything was stress-free, and I got my house.
Before he became a homeowner through mortgage, Mr. Olatunji was one of many people who never believed in the authenticity of the mortgage system in Nigeria. Now, the story is quite different. He says owning a home is a feeling that cannot be compared.
I felt so happy, and my family, they were also very happy, because I was actually coming from an estate here inside Kuje as well, and telling them about this and receiving my key. I don't know how I felt. I felt so happy. Even my family, they were so happy. And ever since then, we've been here since. Ever since then, we've been living comfortably. Everything has been going on fine. I've been going to the office with the rest of mind that I'm in my house and all that. And everything has been cool, and I appreciate the developer, I appreciate my PMI, I appreciate everybody that made this happen, and even the NHF. I really appreciate them. They are really doing great.
He also calls out on Nigerians to try out the National Housing Fund Scheme.
Nigerians, if I might advise people, will tell you to, if you have not done it, please do it now and make it a fast thing, because the way the country is going now, mortgage bank is really helping us to limit our stress. Because when you go now, if you go to some places in this Abuja now, listen to the house rent, you'll be you'll be surprised. You're paying about 1 point something, even close to 2 million some houses. So you as a federal worker, if you can key into this, I think it's better for you, because when you see that you are paying, when you are paying 2 points, 1 point, you pay that for like 6 months, calculate that, then you are doing this small mortgage thing and all that, it will help. So I will advise you, don't waste time, don't procrastinate, just do the needful, key into the mortgage.
Mr. Olatunji commends the developer of the estate for a job well done. He said the quality of work done on the estate and his house is very commendable.
This place is very spacious, as you can see yourself. This room is spacious enough. Then when you get to the rooms, the kitchen, everywhere is spacious, and it's very, very comfortable. As you can see, even the environment seems to look so conducive for us. It's very conducive. The security are working well for us, and I'm really enjoying my stay.
The happy homeowner says he has not stopped encouraging people around him to give the National Housing Fund Scheme a trial.
Our question for the week is, can someone who has attained 35 years in service and does not necessarily clock 60 years of age apply for his or her NHF fund?
The law is very specific in saying that the applicants for refund must be 60 years of age, but there is another provision which also says inability to make continuous contributions to the National Housing Fund. So in a case in which somebody has attained 35 years in service but has not attained the age of 60 years, we also make that provision for a refund to that individual because he has attained the maximum working length of time, which is 35 years in service. So in that case, we oblige a request for refund in such cases.
That's the much we can take on this edition of the program. And just like we heard from our beneficiary, owning your home is quite doable. Why don't you find out how to begin by logging on to our website on www.fmbn.gov.ng or walk into any FMBN office near you to be guided on what you need to do to become a homeowner. Until next week, when I come your way again with another exciting package from the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, remember, everyone deserves a home and you are no exception. Have a pleasant night and bye-bye.